Mike gonna make this one, or is he gonna try to catch up on some sleep before he's gotta get up?
I think he plans on being here.
Yes.
Yep. I just spoke with him and he said that.
Let's do that.
I'm going in early to.
No, I bet you are.
I found 2 more bumpers.
Yep.
All from the
You're
same
going in
price.
early?
One's in Duluth.
That's black.
Ooh. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
So did I understand you can put it on?
The jobs.
I just need to convince Demo.
Personal.
I bet he could do it.
Guaranteed you could. All you gotta do is stuff it first, you can buy the same paint, right from the store.
Yeah,
Spray it on.
straight on. We'll see how my he's open to this.
I know.
See if I can bring him to the dark side.
If you just do it. it'd be better
6
off.
o'clock.
6 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. You can all please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, you have our roll call.
Yes,
We will move to approve this evening's agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'm motion to approve this evening's agenda.
I will second that.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be passed in one council motion unless there is something we need removed for further discussion. Nothing to remove. I will take them.
motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Hearing none. Consent agenda is passed. Time. Need a motion to close our regular meeting. Open the truth and taxation hearing.
I move we close the regular council meeting and open the 2025 Truth and Taxation public hearing.
a second. Oh, either one, not it.
I have a motion and a couple seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in our public hearing. Christina, I will turn it over to you.
have copies of the truth and taxation report at the sign in if everybody wants to follow along. Not. Well, go through since there's not a ton of public here, we'll just go through some highlights. And we'll put it up to questions. All right, the purpose of the truth and taxation is to discuss the proposed property tax levy for the tax payable year 2026 and the proposed budget for the year 2026. This public hearing is held to discuss and seek public comment on the city's 2025 general fund budget and the 26 property tax levy. City of Blackduck must certify its final payable 26 property tax levy to the county auditor no later than December 28th, 2025. This document outlines the following: the City of Blackduck's 26 levy, LGA payment from the state of Minnesota, the tax base of the city, and the 26 general fund expenditures and revenue sources. The 26 general fund budget does not balance. It will need an increase in the property tax levy. Therefore, the tax levy will remain as suggested in September in the amount of $443,157. That is a balance, an increase of 2.8%. That doesn't necessarily mean that's an increase that translates to everybody only getting a 2.8% increase. An average home valued at about $100,000 with a full homestead exclusion will pay about $678 a year in taxes. Obviously, everybody's valuation is going to be different based upon the home value. Blackduck is a high area for taxes. We have a very high amount of non-taxable property between the school district campus, all the government buildings that are owned, and any nonprofits. There's several churches in the city as well. So the rest of the taxable base gets shared with that. Page 2 highlights our local government aid and the calculation. You'll see at the bottom of page 2, we have a small increase over 25 expected for 26. A lot of that stems from some Class D rental housing that's getting reevaluated at the state, which will change our calculation in 27 and 28. I'll highlight it a little bit later, but part of our revenue source for next year, including our LGA, also includes an offset from the state for that apartment building recalculation. We're getting about $23,000 in 26 and a little bit less in 27. So by 2027, our LGA is going to really stabilize. It's not going to continue to increase as we've seen in the past 5 years. It's taking quite a jump. It's going to stabilize. In the middle of this page, items 1 through 10 kind of gives you how the state calculates our LGA. It's based on a number of items: transformed population, the number of housing units that are pre-1940 in town, the total housing units, our peak population decline. The commercial utility percentage is a new item that's been added the last couple of years. Our population age as well, which is our city age index, plays into it. The effort rate, which is another calculation, and then our need, obviously. That makes our unmet need, which also provides to you what our increase is. So whatever they have, and where those red items actually set in is what makes our calculation. So we're only getting another $732 to our what our number was in 25. Not a whole lot being added, but it is a big, substantial amount of revenue to our budget. Page 3 outlines tax base information and how our levy affects everybody's taxes. Estimated market value is the first one. You will note that the tax system in the state of Minnesota is a consistent cycle. Comps of sales of property and market values within the area that you live really do affect what your tax base and your market value is going to be. This spreadsheet that I have on this page will show you a history of our estimated market value of the whole city, noting that it did increase again for pay of 2026, just about that same percentage that we're increasing our levy at 2.86%. But on a 6-year note in history, we've gained a lot of market value in the city, which has a lot of variations and a lot of reasons. It's growth, sharing that, people are improving their homes, all of those types of things play into that value. Whoops, did I flip the page? 3. Page 4, I talk about your net tax capacity. That's what the city's valuation is at for everything in it. Our net tax capacity for 2026 is $408,289. That plays into as well as what your percentage of what you pay a levy will be. When that net tax capacity goes up, then it spreads that tax burden out to more people and actually lessens your individual burden. The taxable market value is the estimated market value less any credits you might get. Your homestead exclusion, if you have any veterans credits, if you have an ag credit to your place, that will also play into the actual value. Whenever we increase our market value, like I said earlier, you build a new home, or we added a business in town, the tax burden to the property owners actually decreases because there's more value to the whole city. As you can see in the spreadsheet on the bottom, the city of Blackduck's taxable market value has increased compared to 25, just over 3%. A weaker market value may affect a tax burden to property owners. So we're good and stable. Page 5 outlines our overall general fund expenditures by department. Public safety, obviously, fire and police make up the majority of our budget. It's about 33%. Our general government administration is now starting to level that out as well. That includes government buildings, the administrative department, and now the license center. Street department will be the next one that takes over a good portion of the general fund budget, and then parks, library, and street lighting go below. So page 6 tells you of that budget where those where the funding is actually going. Personnel is actually the largest percentage of our budget. It makes up 50% of it. The rest is operating and equipment. You'll note on page 6 that the overall expenses increased $46,312 to 2025's budget. 15,000 of that was personnel costs. We've increased the fire department's wage budget to offset for the number of calls that they've actually increased taking in the last couple of years. The administration and the license center, those wages are now allocated 100% to the general fund. We've removed portions and percentages of those wages that were being funded from other enterprise funds like water, wastewater, and liquor. Then we've also put in a percentage to take care of the Minnesota paid leave that's starting in January. The city council agreed that because it was such a small amount of our wages, that as the employer, we would be paying 100% of the obligation that the state is expecting. So there will be no employee split. In terms of operating costs, we've increased a little over 12% or almost $15,000 over 2025. A large portion of that was in the administration and the license center budget. That was to take care of the increased financial burden for our financial audit, and then next year is also an election year for our governor. So we have fees for that we didn't have this year in 25. We added a little bit of money into the Wayside Rest Park budget to hopefully improve our public restroom facilities. And then we put money into our planning budget to offset for rental inspections that happen on a biannual basis. And then the equipment costs increased a little over 4% or around $16,000. Most of that was into the street department where we agreed to start depreciating for future replacement of equipment. So we wouldn't have to continue bonding for it in the future. So what did we accomplish in 25? The city continues its efforts to improve efficiencies and update facilities and equipment. Our Blackduck library interior improvements began this year to make a good effort to improve the facility. The city received a grant from the Minnesota Board of Education to improve the facility and create a private meeting space or community multi-purpose room inside. These funds added to the local option sales tax are going to improve the circulation desk location, providing more room for periodicals and improving the lighting system, improve the outdated flooring, giving the place a nice fresh coat of paint. In 2026, we hope to finish all the improvements by improving in the exterior areas and having a good green space. The Lakeview Cemetery, after decades of existing rules and guidelines, the city amended its ordinance to allow a reduced interment and cremation regulation into single grave spaces. They specified vault requirements and made other regulation changes. My administrative department is still working to improve record keeping and improve efficiencies. Still working on that. Yeah. Not quite done.
All other duties as assigned.
Exactly. The fire department, with the guidance for the fire chief and the volunteers, city council agreed to bond and purchase for a new fire truck. Volunteers made the recommendation late 24, early 25 to replace the 1996 engine, knowing it would take up to 48 months for replacement equipment to be built and placed into rotation. With the assistance of the fire relief and the fire protection area, we'll see new equipment in the fire hall on or before 2030. Chickens are now allowed in the city of Blackduck. The city council reviewed several small ordinances from other cities to allow chickens. After careful review and an interest to permit chickens for egg production and consumption, the city council drafted and passed a new ordinance. The city of Blackduck may permit up to 5 licenses with this new ordinance. City infrastructure is inventoried and identified. Public works staff and the city engineer staff continue their efforts to update and maintain aging infrastructure. Between lift stations and the water plant, city staff spent much of 2025 working on aging infrastructure. The city is nearing the completion of a preliminary engineering report, which is essential for assessing the feasibility and requirements of capital improvement projects, helping funding agencies to determine if a project is viable and necessary. This report serves as a roadmap for project planning and is often required for obtaining state and federal funding. The city council and staff agreed to improve 3 major lift stations prior to federal funding application, as the use of that infrastructure has increased exponentially. The completion and adoption of the city of Blackduck wellhead protection plan will pair with the preliminary engineer's report for drinking water source improvements. Blackduck sees major private business changes. From the Shade store closing its doors, the Drake's Wash and Heroes Rise Coffee making a splash, and Blackduck Co-op Ag Services new fertilizer plant, the city of Blackduck private businesses are turning over and making permanent investments in the community. The Shade store may have closed its doors in the spring, but a new business is filling the vacancy. Drake's Wash and Heroes Rise fill a vacancy in the old Wells Fargo building downtown, and the improvements are great to see. The facility holds an arcade, Heroes Rise, JM Chiropractic, and soon a Drake's Wash, a new laundromat. Blackduck Co-op Ag Services began construction on their new fertilizer plant. A $2 million facility will provide agronomy to a large service area. These major investments in Blackduck will retain and bring several new customers to our community. Pages 7 through 13 outline the individual departments' budgets and compare them to 24 and 25. I will not go into those in detail. Nothing has changed next. Page 14 outlines our revenue resources. As I stated earlier, LGA is at 324,587. That will most likely balance out in the next 2 years. Our property tax is 379,393. Our fire protection contribution from our areas that support it are 105,943. We're doing a $60,000 liquor store transfer to support the general fund. Police and state aids, we estimate in taking $33,500. The small cities assistance money of 37,286 is for streets and also includes that offset I told you about earlier for the LGA. The rest of it is just charges and service, miscellaneous, permits, reimbursements, those types of things. So you can see that property taxes make up the majority of our revenue, but LGA is also a very close one. Between those, that's 67% of our budget. Any questions on that? And then page 15 outlines those comparative numbers all the way back to 2024. That concludes my report. Next, unless you would like me to go into any other details.
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Anybody have any questions?
I had a question about the city's age index.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that a little bit?
it depends on how much you want me to talk about it. I get all of this from LGA's report from the state of Minnesota's Department of Revenue, Don. So what You're talking at number 6, population age 65. So that is also based on 2024's numbers, not 25's numbers. It's just what they say. Their age index is a calculation. It's used to factor population mostly for larger cities, but they basically it's a percentage, 20% of the population is 65 or older.
That's not property owners, that's just the population.
That's the population.
Okay.
It's census driven.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I was
Yeah.
kind of wondering.
To that point, I believe it would be very difficult for the state to understand the age of property owners. They can only really know what they can gather through census.
Okay,
So I don't think you can make a comparative between what you would pay property taxes versus Nick in an age level. I don't think that data is actually grabbed by the state.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
yeah, it did.
But
It was-
I imagine your question is property tax driven, right?
I was just wondering what the age index, what, what,
I guess what I could tell you is, and this is my assumption, is the state is looking at the number of the percentage of what our population is that's over 65 that owns homes versus what lives in town and actually provides to our levy. That would be my thought.
okay,
I don't get a whole lot of details in there, but I could probably do a deeper dive off. And maybe find a little bit more from the state for you.
I was
I
just
just don't
kind of,
have the information for you tonight.
yeah, I was just kind of curious, how many seniors are, and I'm sure it doesn't really affect anything, we all have the same property taxes, whatever your valuation of your house is. I was just,
Well, if our population is 854 and almost 21% of it, they're assuming is over 65. It's probably pretty close.
Yeah, and you factor in how many voters we had registered at the last election, that's probably about right, 20%.
Yeah, and again, I think it's census driven, so
So, yeah, but I mean, it's falls in that ballpark.
those are the types of things that I don't know how else they can gather except from the census.
That's it.
okay,
Anything else? Anything budget wise specific?
Since we have nothing else to discuss on the truth and taxation hearing. Need a motion to close the hearing and open our regular council meeting.
I'll move we close the truth and taxation public hearing and reopen the regularly scheduled council meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Hearing none. We are back to our regular meeting. Is there anyone here for the Blackduck Forum? Third time. Seeing none, Christina. We will start off with our reports from the city staff. Mike, aren't you glad it's snowing?
Sure am. Actually, I'm kind of bored.
Got some
I don't-
stuff at the library I could use.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway,
Blinders on.
so, no, November's a notoriously slow month for us. It's kind of housekeeping and, pick away at small stuff type of deal, so I really don't have anything major to report unless you want to know how many times we swept the floor or washed the windows and stuff like that.
No.
Anything for me?
Everything looks good, everything's ready.
Oh, we've already shook the cobwebs off once.
Okay.
Managed to not peel up too many
Yeah, I know.
solid pieces the first time. We let a lot of that, we tried some of that gravel and it was, no.
No, don't-
No, we're not doing this.
Not yet.
So hopefully this go around, it should be good and frozen. We can just sail right through it.
Okay.
Probably see us early tomorrow morning would be my guess if it keeps going the way it
No, I
is.
won't.
Well, you won't see us, you might hear us.
I will be sleeping. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, liquor store. Melissa, are you filling in for Sean?
I am filling in for Shonda. Not really a full lot to bring to the table today. Our numbers weren't too bad last month. Now that we're starting to see some ice, things should start picking up for us a little bit. It's been kind of a little quiet, which is okay. Pick up fast. We do have our customer appreciation coming up on December 20th. I think it starts at 3. So we'll have some cookies and snacks, so some door prizes, thanks to it. So other than that, things are, knock on wood, going pretty smoothly. I think we've got a couple of new people hired to kind of alleviate some of the kitchen.
Saw that in the consent agenda.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get maybe one more person to help us out. Really have the flow in the kitchen just a little better to alleviate some of the extra pressure. But otherwise, things are,
What's special this week?
it is a Philly bowl.
Oh,
It has hash browns, Philly steak, pepper blend with gravy, brown gravy.
sounds like it's right up my alley, actually. I love Phillies, God, just thinking nothing.
But other than that, I don't have a whole lot unless you have something for me.
I was just curious, I noticed you're now charging different prices for credit versus cash, at least in the off sale. Has that been going on for a while? or-
Yes.
Oh, years.
All year?
Yeah, we've been doing that for years.
Yep.
If you pay with a credit card, you're gonna have, there's gonna be a charge,
Yeah, like,
unless it's a debit card. If it's a bank card, there's a difference between a bank card and an actual credit card.
the bank cards are no.
Paid or considered cash.
Yeah, well, they're certain. And then what's the markup on that? 2, 3, 4%? Or,
You can't exceed 2.25. That's federally driven.
okay.
So I think right at 2%.
Yep.
But yeah, on the off sale side, if you pay with a credit card, you're gonna have a 2% charge.
Regardless of what your merchant
yeah.
charges, you as the actual business can't exceed
Mhm.
what your merchant charges you. And
Yes.
there's such a fluctuation on what the solid percentage is that your merchant charges you. It's better to hold it closer underneath that threshold to make up some of that expense. Bank charges on the liquor store are astronomical for credit use. They can be up into the numbers over 50 grand a year for what we pay for merchant fees.
Yes.
And that's why we started that a few years back.
And that's only just to offset the bank.
I'll sell them.
You can't make revenue on it.
I was curious, I was asked that.
Yeah.
I'm a cash customer, so I don't have to pay these excessive fees.
Here, I thought you were trying to figure out how you could get it just this much cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, that all depends on what day of the week you go. Every day, you know, I have to experience it at some point in the future.
Wednesday?
Anything else for the pond? Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Not even gonna ask you how the Vikings games are going down there, because they're not.
We're just gonna go on to the next section.
Library, Christina.
Yeah, so we've been pretty busy the last couple of weeks moving books. The carpet is done. I have a couple of things I want to include you guys in, but the first thing I need is an approval on a quote for some of the FF&E for the building. Now, this does not include the shelving that we discussed at the last meeting. This will be what we originally budgeted for when we did our Board of Education grant. So this would include the table for the multi-purpose room, a mini truck for books,
our new book return, the lab stations for the public tech, and then some new seating. I will discuss the shelving at a later time, but this quote needs to get approved so I can make this because of the shipping turnaround, but this was already included in our original plan
Okay.
and our original budget, so I'm asking to get this stuff sent so that we can make that change, because it might take about 4 weeks to get this stuff in.
I'll move to approve the library quote number 945042.
Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this?
And just to clarify, Christina, one of the attachments you made for a future item was the revenue and expenses budget worksheet, I guess. This is something that was budgeted again.
That is correct.
It's listed on here.
It is.
And if I'm reading that, even after we have all of these expenses that are listed on here, there's still a balance of $34,000
Roughly.
remaining. Yeah.
That's
Right.
correct. I still need final numbers from our GC on the full flooring and the painting. I don't have that yet.
Yeah, so we're still under budget with all these planned expenses.
Yes,
I just
yes.
make sure we're not getting ourselves in trouble there. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
And all in favor?
I,
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries.
The next thing I want to include you guys in is that I had Pinnacle start working on some new concepts for advertising, or excuse me, signage for the library. So this page was what I sent you guys in your draft on Friday. I've had them do some revisions to the top 2 concepts. I've sent these to the library board and to Kelly, gotten some staff feedback. There was actually 2 additional concepts that they came up with. I don't think they worked for us, but these are the top 4 so far. Then concept 2 and 4, we had Pinnacle do a couple of revisions. We like the duck on this one, but we asked them to put some more smaller pages, if you will, lines inside the feather area of the body to make it look a little bit more like a book. And then on concept 4, this is the original. We didn't like the script on the top one in the original, but appreciated the regular font on the bottom. So we asked Pinnacle to make a couple different changes so that Blackduck, the word, actually read a little bit better. The other thing we didn't like was that this duck on the top original looked more like a goose. Neck was a little thinner. We didn't feel like it read duck to us. So we asked for those revisions and Pinnacle was able to come up with those concepts. So what I'm asking for you guys tonight is to just give me some feedback. I've had a couple people tell me I should put the concepts on Facebook and do a vote.
Oh, boy.
And I'm a little worried about doing that because I know that can just get into a whole slew of things, but it is our library and I'd like the public's input to some degree. So the narrowed focus is either concept 2 or concept 4, the last 2 that we did the revisions. So I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys.
I like concept 4.
Mike
myself.
doesn't like any of them.
You know why you look at me right?
I'm gonna go with Nick on that. I like 4 myself.
You like 4? Okay. Do you like the revised, one of these revisions more than the original?
Well, under your
I think.
revised concepts
That's 2.
2.
Okay, where's 4?
on-
4 is down
on
here.
the-
Mhm.
In the back.
Oh, you don't have your computer.
I
Concept
do, I just,
4
I'm
is
so
what-
sick of looking at
Oh, I
computers that,
understand.
Yeah. In the revised,
Where's the
that's
one?
just to clear, this is the original one that we did.
Oh.
The one I
The two
saw
bottom here
before.
are the revisions that Pinnacle made of this one. So you'll see the duck is
I
different,
like that one.
okay? And the font is
Concept
different.
one.
Keep in mind what we're aiming for is signage mostly.
Correct.
That was the original intent, but this could go towards any other documents. Or if we use it for, you know, bookmarks to give away, you know, anything else, just because what we've had in the past is slowly aging away.
At the bottom left,
You like that one?
no,
Left,
You're
I'm
right.
sorry.
the only thing is. You should switch the blue to the same blue that the rest of us are all using.
So one of the comments I got from some people is that blue reads more of the city of Blackduck's blue logo. And questioned if we should differentiate.
So
I'm fine with that.
It's less blue paint by.
we're gonna be the ones. that hate
No,
that.
you're not. No.
We were gonna do like we've been doing. the
Yeah,
rest
like
of
we
the
did
stuff.
for Country Park and the golf course. My hope is to have Ross Lewis develop a sign that we can actually mount to the actual facility. Get away from having a sign on the ground that has to be mowed around and take up green space.
Got a big open area on the building.
And we have a great big building, yeah, space on there, hoping to maybe even change the exterior lighting so it could get illuminated at night too. The Friends of the Library had good response. They both liked this concept,
I like 4, but I like the long, narrow sign,
like this one,
the one up on top.
very first one.
No, the bottom, next one down. I mean, but not the one with the round top on it.
The
Oh,
rectangle one.
One of the.
In the.
on the actual display itself.
Yeah, the one with
Yeah.
the blue post, yeah.
That's just, yeah, if we did that, that could be just part of the exterior sign when it's done.
And that would be above like the handrails. I mean, if you wouldn't put it
Yeah,
on that,
Like
you
to
know.
the,
So you-
Above
to
the
the north
handicap
of the
ramp.
door
Yep,
is what I'm thinking. Okay,
So we're discussing now the appearance of the logo. We're not approving or discussing the actual physical yard signage
Correct.
that's shown there.
correct.
because
What I'm
two-
trying to gain is feedback on the concept of the logo itself.
2 of the options for the signage have huge stone quarry
Yeah.
signage.
Yeah, I know,
That's
that's not happening.
30,000. We should be spending money inside the building mainly.
Yeah, no,
We're not gonna do. one
we're
of
not
the
gonna do
yards.
anything that the guys have to mow around.
Nothing in the yard, it's going on.
It's going on the building.
This looks like quarried stone, not just wood. So that's
Nope,
not
just look at
interested
the
in
logo
that.
and give
If
me
you want to,
feedback.
if we want to do anything, if you want to do anything in the yard, you know, a couple of wooden posts would be fine. If you go there.
Okay.
Was that more or less what you wanted?
I did,
Okay.
just to narrow it down. I mean,
I'm sure any of them actually would probably be more than adequate.
I personally
think.
I like this one better. I'm more partial to this one, but the majority of the people I speak to like concept 4 more.
The work for the green.
If, yeah,
If it was blue, would you like it better?
I don't like the book, but
You don't like the blue?
no,
I like the one
I think
flying up
it's
in front.
and now it's got a name,
I think.
what do you call it?
the book button.
It does look like a small.
Things I know like this is trying to do is they're trying to narrow down all the logos that they do because it's different from one sport to another sport and they want to put something on their
I like that one. No, I like those.
in
Yeah,
the gym, I think, right? They want to redo the
Duck looks
logo
like
and
a
put something
duck.
on the gym. So they're trying to differentiate and stay consistent and I'm just trying to find a unique duck that says library, but is different from golf and the
Correct.
cities. Yeah.
I think the blue is better that way,
Okay.
and because it separates it off, the, you know, green, golf, yeah.
Okay.
But the, yeah, the blue's better, and again, I'm with Nick, you know, no, No
No,
book,
but-
no,
but-
no
no
book,
book
book butts.
But, no, both butts. Okay, so down here is what we're thinking. You like this one,
Yeah,
right? Okay. I'll give kind of a feedback. Thank you. Okay. Okay. The next thing I just want to share is that we, meaning Kelly and I, have been still working with Creative Spaces on the shelving layout. We have finalized on putting 6 rows of bookshelves in the main flooring, plus one that'll run west and east, and then a smaller one for periodicals. When we first did this, the number of periodicals in our circulation was a lot lower because Kelly and the staff have been reducing the number of books we have, and they plan on getting more. So when we first had this done, we didn't have enough shelving. We only had enough shelving for what the circulation was existing now. So we needed to change gears and make sure that we had everything. So this concept, what this will do is it will put 3 different heights of shelving. These will be 72 inches. These will be 48, and this would be 42. So all the perimeter shelving will be the tallest as it is right now. And then we will gain some shelving on that south wall where we've had the circulation desk for so long in this area, because all the tech will fit over here. So that's going to be all the patrons tech, because everything else is getting moved to the section where we've built the new circulation area. So we've got the seating that we just discussed that will go there. And then this was the other want that Kelly had requested, is to have more of these Johnny Craft containers for those large picture books that don't really fit in shelving because they're all different sizes, plus they're at kid level. So as it sits right now, the library already has 2 of these. They're a different brand than what the Creative Concepts is putting into the build, but they're on the same concept. There's 6 of them here. We can fit 6 of them if we go with this, but 2 of them we will already own with the 2 that we have. So we really only need to buy 4. So the budget that I have in your packet actually, I think, says 6. I haven't gotten a revised, so it would be reduced if we agreed on the shelving purchase. Questions, comments? The other thing I didn't do and include in that budget, I had them take the patron seating out because Kelly agreed we already have enough patron seating now. And she wanted to save money so that the Johnny Craft bookshelves could be built in instead, because they're a little bit more expensive. Plus the gal that's doing this build for us, she kept on putting really expensive seating in there. And Kelly and I don't feel like it's necessary to stick really expensive seating in there when we already have some. So we're gonna go with that. The pricing of the shelving as it is for this right now. Without shipping is about $61,000. So what I don't have for this budget for you guys yet is, like I said earlier to Ron, I don't have the final numbers from our GC on flooring and the painting. I want to make sure that those numbers for that construction portion is covered by our grant before I ask for approval to be able to fit the shelving purchase in. It's like the last thing I want to get approval for. So when I get those other numbers to share with you guys, then I'm going to come back with this final shelving cost and tell you if we can fit it in or not. My conversation with my partners at the Board of Education that helps us with the grant told me last week that in one way, shape, or form, all of our construction will get covered by the grant.
Okay.
Believe it when I see it. Still waiting for my first reimbursement, a little hesitant. Just kind of trying to play it a little safe here, right? I don't want to spend, like Ron, I don't want to go over budget, but this is the wish. And if you've been in the library since the flooring got done last Friday, and we only have a small section of the south wall to paint again, it's looking really nice. I think Tony's putting the counters in today on the circulation desk. Everything is really coming together. When I was over there Thursday, Friday, moving books back, anybody that did come in had really great things to say. Really like to see the improvements. It looks really good. If you saw when they put half of the carpet in and the other half was still there of the old stuff, it was night and day. It was, I mean, you could tell it was sad. It needed to get replaced. So looks a lot fresher. People really appreciate it. Even the staff really appreciates it too. So I'm hoping we can kick this over. However, just because the interior is done doesn't mean we're completed. We still want to put signage out like we just got done talking about. Mike and I have been talking about repouring a space on the east side of the building, maybe making some retaining improvements on that backside so we don't have any water intrusion. I really would like to get a new exterior book return for the building as well. That one itself, I think Kelly told me she's had to replace the lock a couple of times on it because it just doesn't work because I guess the unit itself has been hit a couple of times by vehicles. So it's past its age limit. It would be nice to remove that and then put it further into where the stairs are instead of having it right off the sidewalk. That way it would be protected. The staff even asked if we could add a picnic table or some seating in that little alcove after Mike gets, the grass done so that there's like a little exterior green space there. So there's a lot of wishes for outside that we still would like to fit into this budget.
I've actually seen cars drive up onto the sidewalk so they didn't have to get out of the car.
That's probably why that thing got hit.
Yeah.
It's true. You can,
Yeah.
Christina, can you slide to the beginning where you had looked like you had some seating? Was that like right as you come in the front door? Or is that changed? No, I think up further,
I'll get that aerial for you, Lori.
right there.
Yeah, so that's where the tech area is being relocated for the patrons.
How far is that from the front door?
Quite a bit,
Okay,
quite a bit.
okay. I was like,
So,
oh, that's gonna
if
be
you-
cold.
Kelly's office was that
Yes.
wall on the west side. That stopped here. So the new patron counter goes all the way to that corner of what that office was. So this is past there.
Okay,
Polar even, and I know you have been in there, Polar did the surfacing in the entryway and the restroom. So it's a lot more permanent. The tile is gone. So it looks a lot cleaner.
I'm excited to get in there.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the furniture price was without shipping. When will we find out what the shipping?
On the
would be?
shelving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shelving.
We would have to ask for a final quote from them. So as Kelly and I have gone back and forth trying to figure out how many of these Johnny Crafts we've done, have to wait for my rep to give me that.
Mhm.
When she knows that that's our final number, then she'll adjust the whole quote and predict the shipping on it.
Because we have about 60,000 planned right now, it looks like.
Yeah, without the shipping.
Yeah.
I think if you remember it on the quote with the FF&E I asked for approval on tonight, the shipping on that was $1,800. And that wasn't for a lot. This shelving's gonna be more. I guarantee it. It will get, that FF&E will get drop shipped to the library with a Tommy gate. We'll have to have our staff bring it into the building. Some of it will need assembly. Not all of it.
I would imagine it needs to be secured on the wall, right? The tall shelves on the outside?
Yep, yeah, it will be. Any other questions? Guys like it so far? Things are
Mhm.
good, okay, keep moving. The last thing I just wanted to share with you, I don't know if Kelly sent it to you guys, but the county did approve their final levy last week, Tuesday, with the reductions to the library. That does reduce our public hours to 20. It sounds like the Bemidji branch is actually taking some of their funding and giving it to us to make up some of that, so we don't drop below 20.
Okay.
Because what we're not getting from the county doesn't even equate to one of the Bemidji branch's full-time employees. So graciously, Bemidji's giving us some so we can stay at that 20 hour.
Sounds good.
But it's gonna affect us, so.
Kitchigami hasn't said whether or not they planned on using any of their funding.
It's
or-
my understanding that there's been very little communication about that from the from Kitchigami's director. So. About that. I know that Kelly did say that their final numbers aren't done, so I think she's still waiting to hear what Melissa Wheatley has to say. So.
First, you gotta get her to talk. She doesn't like to talk.
Thank you, Christina,
Yes.
but you're not done yet.
Oh, I'm just gonna defer to Bruce.
No, that was your plan.
Always my plan.
All right, was there anything else on the library, guys? Looking good?
Cool. Yeah, I encourage you guys to stop in when they're open, just to see. I know that things look a little disheveled because books are in a lot different place, but none of them are on the floor anymore, which is
All right, then we will defer to Bruce Smithson from the Lions Club.
Thank you for the invite, Max.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for your patience and waiting through all that.
That's okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the humor, because I think laughter is the best thing that you can ever do for yourself. Good therapy, so thank you for the humor. We got to laugh hard. I'm just recovering from a really bad cold, so hopefully I can speak tonight and go hoarse here, so I'll work hard at trying to get everything out. The Bemidji Lions is helping Blackduck Lions to get back on our feet. And I'm a past member of the Bemidji Lions. So their health has been really great. It's been a struggle since my wife and I moved to town and I became the Blackduck Lions. And I just want to let you know that the charter was getting ready to be inked.
wow.
Mhm.
And so I felt that it was my responsibility to jump in there and try to get this club back on its feet. I've heard so many stories about the past with the club here.
Yep.
And my goal is to get back to that past. And I know it's going to be hard. I became the president at our September meeting. And current president, he was really lacking in a lot of things, and finally I was able to become the president and start making some changes. So my second meeting was November, and when I started the Lions in February, there was like 3 members, and I was the fourth. At the meeting that Max came to, we were sitting outside. And I'm hearing that we're gonna have 4 new members coming. So at our next meeting, is be in January, so we're down just to 1 meeting until we grow. We used to be at 2 meetings. And it's the first Tuesday of every month. And I would like to encourage everybody in Blackduck to come to a meeting so we can start growing this again. And I think I surprised a lot of people at Hillcrest last Tuesday night by handing out membership forms. And I always carry a pile with me, but I left them at home tonight. Spread out some memberships. So I'm looking forward to new members. The thing that was really nice at our meeting on Tuesday night, two Bemidji Lions were there. And one was the past governor of the district. And then, and they were here trying to get the new members newly acquainted with the growth that's coming in our club and helping us grow. So it was a very good meeting. Max can elaborate more on we talked about. On the first meeting, one thing that we donated money to the Girls and Boys Club and helped with their bonanza. So we got money out for that. The past meeting that we had, and I don't have the minutes, on stumble a little bit. We did the passive donation to the library. You know, so that should be coming. And so we're just very excited. The new members that got us to 7 was our wives. And one of the things that the past governor, Bob Whitkey, which I'm very good friends with, he came to our meeting in March and was really trying to get us, the current president, to get growth going and all that, but it always seemed to fall on deaf ears because it was the past president never returned. And there is a really tough situation. I don't want to pick on him. I think that I don't know the full history of it, but I'm just picking on him. I'm a little unhappy with some of the things that I'm finding out. I have a lot to learn, you know, the area. And I should probably tell a little bit. My wife and I moved here back a year ago into the area. I used to live up here, which I had met this young man here years ago. And my family, my mom and dad were born and raised between Otsky and New York. So I know a lot of people. And I've never really been over here very much. But the one thing that I always came to was the wood carvers. Okay. And I was always impressed with the Lions group, what they were doing during their heyday here. When my wife and I came here and to wood carvers, since I hadn't been here for a while, there was no lions except for somebody wandering around with the vest on. That was about all I saw. I was really disappointed that we didn't have a presence. So that's about to change. And I'm bringing in guest speakers, so anybody that wants to come in and be a guest speaker at our meeting, we even buy you a nice meal when you're there. I think Max can tell you that when he was there, that Jim was really nice. He made
Prime rib was delicious.
Yeah. So bribery, so Jim is our intelligence.
But Shelley did say that they don't always eat that good. So I don't know, you gotta take it for what it is.
Jim's taking very good care of it. I know he's really excited with me being president there, and we have a lot of discussions together. Our next meeting, we're going to have another Bemidji Lions coming for a guest speaker. It's going to be kids site that they're going to be talking about. If you don't know a whole lot about the Lions internationally, what we do is 100% of the money that we raise goes back to the community that we live in. And the only fundraiser that we have to date is our coupon. And I'll tell you, it was a real struggle getting it out because it was out overdue. And so really struggled trying to get that thing out. But I was amazed at the sales. We probably generate a little over $5,000 on fundraising with that. And so all that money comes back to the community. And And I'm available to come to all the council meetings because I want to learn, and how we can help the community. And I need your guys' help too, so I can learn. And I'm just really grateful. My wife and I love it here. My wife grew up in Little Falls, and she retired from the Little Falls School District after 40 years. And she was really impressed with the area here. When we met the first time, I lived over on the Turtle River between Little Turtle and Big Turtle. And when she came up the first time to visit, she was, wow, we're so far north. Holy smokes, that's a long ways up here. When we decided to get married, she goes, I'm not sure you have a great place here, but I think it's too far north because I have 11 grandkids that are young. I want to be able to stay close. So I sold everything I had and we
Ouch.
wasn't for punishment, I guess. But I was able to find my best friend in my life. And we were looking for a lake home. Part of my bucket list is to get back on water. Diane's always wanted to be on water. So we were looking for a place. And we had given up because it seemed like it was. We were down around Emily and all that. For the amount of money spending on lake property, I'm just amazed because they're all project houses for $600,000 on this one. I'd like to mess around. I like to retire one day. So, but anyway, you just kind of shut it off. And a year ago, Labor Day weekend, we're sitting on our motor down in southeastern Minnesota. And I always was getting the news feed in this house property popped up. Oh, and I showed it to her and she goes, where's Blackduck at?
Hell's Black?
Yeah, where the hell is Blackduck at? So I showed her, she goes, well, that wasn't far from where you live. No, she goes, the pictures are beautiful. Can we go up there and look at it? And when we made the appointment, drove down the driveway, she goes, can we buy it? Without even going in the house. Wow. She goes, the grandkids are all, they never come. They're all. So let's go follow our bucket list and buy this place. So
Right on.
that's how we get here. So now we're back up here and our neighbor is Sally Johnson. So if you know Sally Johnson, she has been about the best thing for my wife because my wife doesn't know anyone. Of course, Sally knows everything. And Diane's all over the place. So with her, and it's been great. We even been invited to their family Wednesday night meal at Fort Willis. So we've been doing that every week too. So it's been a lot of fun being up here, with that. And her niece is Sherry Mystic, Stan Mystic's wife.
Mhm.
And I've known Stan for a long time. And he was so surprised when I come walking in the first night. And his family and my parents live in where they grew up there. Every close to so if you haven't been to a Mystic wedding, you haven't been to a wedding. I'll never forget that as a kid, for sure. And one of my short-tail relatives that was able to meet Don through a few years ago. Some properties that I own over there. It's just been fantastic being back up here. If my wife was here, she'd stand up and tell you this is the best place I've ever been. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's quite the compliment to pay the city.
Yeah. So I'm here and I want to learn. And I'm still uncovering some horror stories in the club, trying to figure out where everything's at. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Well, at the meeting, we discussed what the Lions want to do with the duck restoration.
Yes, exactly. So I've been hearing mixed stories about what our part is.
See, and that's what I was trying to figure out with the duck myself. I didn't know if the Lions donated the duck to the city and the city's responsible for the duck, or do the Lions want to take over the responsibility of repairing the duck?
Well, the first thing I did was Ted that you met. He had looked at the duck and said it needed some work and stuff worked on it. And he didn't get it. He just got married. He's 80 years old. He's got married. He's living his dream. They're leaving to travel so they won't be back until what, April, I think. So he didn't have a chance to go look at that, but he was willing to go in there and do a little bit of repair. He saw that needed there. And, so that's as far as we got, you know, we can try to find out more about it. And how we can help with it too. I mean, it's,
So what would we recommend then?
I'm not quite sure I understand.
Yeah, I mean, either. You mean, are you looking
Like
for
a partnership or money?
like a shared responsibility?
Shared responsibility, in what function can they help us out? Or can we help them? Mike, what was your thoughts on the duck when you were down there taking a look?
As far as what it needed,
Well, and I know that you had mentioned about tearing out the walking path and other things and some other improvements around that area.
well, the walking path should definitely be tore out because it's long exceeded its life, in
Yes.
my opinion. I believe if we do anything with the walking path going forward, it should come from the east, essentially, not from the south at all. Just because that's where everybody's in and out, and I'd rather not see cars parked over there or in the mud and all that. The duck itself, I mean, we've kind of gone over this back and forth a couple of times.
Well, I'd appreciate if we kind of just rehashed a couple things just to get
Sure.
Bruce up to speed on where we're at.
You know, I think everybody kind of knows my opinion that I don't know that what we have down there is worth a big, huge remodel. I mean, we saw some pretty crazy numbers at one point, if I remember it. It's been a while. We've been going through this for a bit now.
Yeah.
I think we can do a lot with a little down there. I know Don has kind of looked at it. I've looked at it, discussed a little. I don't think that it would take all that much to at least keep it going for right now, you know, and maybe a thought of, you know, a fund line moving forward, you know, donations, community, however it may be, you know, working with the Lions, whatever to get it moving that at some point in time it can be replaced. But I don't think it would take all that much to kind of keep it going right now. Some mortar work, some paint, you know, we discussed finding a student or possibly the art teacher, you know, if the materials are purchased. That would be my spot on it right now anyways.
So we're looking just to kind of make sure it doesn't get worse.
Essentially, I mean, make sure it
Thinking we can
doesn't,
get some funding.
make sure it doesn't get worse and give it a little bit of a facelift. I mean,
Okay.
some mortar mix down there slapped in a few spots and, you know, some drainage set up a little bit better around it. You know, we know that the foundation of it is good. You know, if we can get water to drain away from it and get it cleaned up a bit, I mean, I think we can do quite a bit there with very little.
And this is something that we've got a fund line for, Christina?
No.
Well, yeah, you have grant money from Landon that needs to get expensed by the end of 26. They've just given us a year extension. We should have had it used up by this end of this year, but there's probably about $5 or $6 grand of their money that we haven't spent, and it needs to get used.
Okay.
And I need to prove that we're using it, so, but that's for both statues.
Okay, so that's for both
Mhm.
statues, so we could use some of that.
Yep, and we haven't done anything to the Lions Duck yet with any of the money.
Correct.
So we've already done the restoration that I think is feasible for the old duck. We need to do the restoration on the statue of the Lions Duck first. And then see what kind of money we have left over to throw at surrounding surfaces.
Okay.
The Lions are, I think the partnership is a great idea, especially if they have resources that we haven't been able to find or use to do the base on the Lions Duck and so forth. I mean, we've committed to doing it ourselves to save costs, but we need to get our butt moving and do it.
Yeah, it'd be this spring kind of thing.
Yeah.
late spring, early summer. Let everything dry up and go to it. I mean, pulling the old walk and stuff out is,
That's nothing.
that's merely time. you
Yeah,
know,
that's, there's
me.
no fees in
That's
that.
me sitting in the hole for a couple hours and ripping things out and putting some black dirt back in one side, and then the other side, probably I would like to see, you know, a 4-foot path roughly going to it, an extension of the sidewalk that's currently already lining the north side of the parking area. I mean, it swoops in such a way that you could send it right to the duck. You know, that, or we can come off from maybe where the electric car charger is there in that area. Something along those lines. You know, it really wouldn't hurt to, you know, see it be a little wider even. That way we can drive right in with our snow equipment if we want and get snow out that way. Cause otherwise, I mean, people are still walking to it in the winter time and guess we'll all seen the tracks, you know.
If you
But
make it a little wider, it'd be a little more accessible for,
it'd be easier, you know.
you know, handicap accessible type of thing as well.
And around the base, I mean, we could go, you know, if we come from the east, going to it, we would essentially be coming from straight behind the duck. Get to the duck and you can go all around it, you know, because people are always going around it anyways. So you go around it, well, you pour that properly and there you go. Now you got water shedding away from the duck. You know, that's an easy fix there. Like I say, there's a lot that can be done with a little down there.
Well, you know, we love that, you know, we technically won't have a whole block to of funds for it, but it's the painting and
The painting's gonna be
the
the biggest
colors
thing.
and all that stuff on the statue itself. That's gonna be the,
In
to
my
me, the
opinion,
trickiest part.
the biggest thing is the paint. However, I mean, we can put a base coat on it. You know what I mean? The duck is black, right? We've got a sprayer, we can go and spray it, and then you have someone with some artistic ability, because that ain't me. Come and do something. I can barely draw a stick man.
Okay, so Bruce, if you're looking for something like where the Lions can, I'd say where we start to reach out to people that can paint, that have a real talent.
Do we have photographs of what
Yeah.
it looks like now as well as what it looked like in the past? So
Yeah.
they'd have a good guide as to what to duplicate.
A lot of stuff is out there.
Well, I don't think anybody would be against, you know, a bit of updating, modernization to,
No, it doesn't have, yeah, it doesn't have to mimic the,
Or anything,
you don't have to
yeah.
nail it perfect to what the old one was, or,
that's, you find somebody that, especially if you can find somebody that's willing to donate their time, and make it look however they want, to an extent. You know,
No bikinis on the
be a
duck.
little careful with what I say there, yes. You know,
oh, I agree.
One of the things I'm learning with the Lions, the gentleman I was speaking with last night. The kids site. He introduced me to a name. Lions, he's director of finances for the district. And he was explaining to me that if you want him to come to a meeting, because there are grants that we can apply for, that Lions International provide to the community also. I want to learn more about that. So we can get some more money in here. Maybe we sell it, we get our fundraising.
Agreed. Okay. Well, I just want to thank you, Mike, for taking the time there.
Thank you.
not a problem.
So, and I think we should move forward with it. The old saying, he who hesitates is lost, he who hesitates causes permanent damage. The base and the duct need some work because weather is gonna extrapolate the damage every year.
It'll keep going.
Yep. Anything is better than no movement at this point.
And again, thanks for having me, and I'm really excited about being the president here, and I have the strong will of working hard to get this thing up and
Well, we're glad to see Lions still in the area and active. That would be good. Thank you.
welcome.
Thanks, Bruce.
So we can move on.
Okay, so item B is resolution 2025-20, and this is adopting a schedule of fees and charges for 26. I gave this to you guys at the work session. The only thing I needed to follow up with you on is the rental inspections. I got the contract agreement from Township and Range. They're not increasing our fee. So I did not move, I didn't change anything on number 18 and 19 on page 2. So then the only change, max is number 45, which we discussed in the work session, and that's the Minnesota State Drinking Water fee. So I would ask approval on this resolution, please.
I move to approve resolution 2025-20. Resolution adopting schedule of fees and charges of various services.
Second,
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this?
no,
Why, so we call for the vote. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Item C is resolution 25-21, the resolution approving the final 2025 tax levy collectible in 2026.
I move we approve resolution 2025-21, 2025 tax levy collectible in 2026.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this item?
no,
And all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
And item D, just for council consideration, I give you the draft of resolution 2601, the resolution of annual appointments and designations for 26. What the council will need to approve is we'll have to vote on vice mayor changes and any other committee changes for next year. Does anybody have any comments, want to change anything now before I revise the draft, or do you want to do that on the first meeting in January?
See anything?
I'm fine. Well, just so that it works best with my other work schedules.
You should rotate vice mayor though, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to do that?
When's the last time you did it?
I've been the longest without that title.
Yeah,
Seems suspicious.
are you,
I
don't
think,
know.
I think Ron would make a great vice mayor.
well, you should be on library board. You're still, you're still there. You're on the HR.
I didn't know that.
Is there,
When is that?
Housing and Redevelopment Association.
I would recommend that we leave the library board in Kitschy's the way we have it. Or add an additional alternate to both. Based on current
situation?
situations with Dawn and Lori's. I think it would be a good idea to maybe add a second alternate. Unless both of you are like, yeah, I can still do what I'm doing. But that's just a suggestion. I'm trying to think of you guys.
I understand you've got some,
I have, but kind of covered now, so.
okay,
Because we can leave both you and Lori together on that, and you guys can tag team it together, and I think that that would be appropriate. Kitschy doesn't seem to mind.
I don't think they do.
No, they still send us the package and I still go through it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
When does HRA meet?
Only when we need to. We
Okay,
haven't done it all in 25 because we haven't needed to. And if we did, Lori, I'd make sure it's scheduled during the council meeting. For your post for HRA,
okay.
just makes more sense. Cause you're all there on the same board. There will be obviously a change to the library board in addition to what we just discussed, because Paula Erickson stepped down as president and secretary, so there's a
Oh,
vacancy
wow.
there.
Mm-hmm.
That's fairly recent, so I will make that adjustment. Mm,
Okay. Is she still gonna be on the board or?
Nope, she wants to be involved in as a volunteer status only.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that.
she was kind of the go-getter of that group.
Otherwise, I can leave finance, public works, liquor the same way we have it, if everybody's still gung ho. I mean, we do have an election next year. Mayor,
There's hope.
Mayor, I think Don and Nick seats. Do I have that right?
Mine, I think, was mine. on?
Yours and Ron's?
Mine.
No. No, you and Ron just went in.
I
You're
did.
stuck, you're stuck.
I think
You're
me and-
still,
Me and Nick are the same year.
you and Nick are together and Lori and Ron are together.
Not every election.
And it shouldn't be next year, it should be the following year. We have 4-year term.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still got 2 years.
So now I got 2 or 3 years.
Well, so only mayor will be on there? I better double
Oh,
check.
yeah, mayor and 2
I
counselors.
got mayor and 2 counselors always.
Every election.
Then that'll be
You
used
were
to-
just on the last election.
We were,
Just Lori and I.
it's Ron and Lori. yeah.
Or you-
I'll go back through it.
I don't.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
you're-
a discussion point for tonight.
I think it's one more.
I'm just glad you guys haven't like left, because it's even harder to keep track when there's a vacancy.
It's on my calendar, but
I'll leave vice mayor open. I can always edit it, but if anybody wants to change, just please just keep it in mind before the first council meeting in January.
No, you can put me in.
Ron will be your
It's my
guy.
turn.
It's his turn to be vice. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
All right, fabulous.
Bruce, I do have a question for you. You said your next meeting is when?
Well, maybe, yeah, it's the first Tuesday.
First Tuesday of every month.
Okay,
Like, fun.
very good.
Put it on my picture.
Max, I have a couple of meeting reminders.
Yep.
We're having a public safety committee meeting, December 18th. And then, the city hall is closed at noon on Christmas Eve. So we open in the morning, then close, then we're closed on Christmas Day. We're also closed on New Year's Day. So Christmas is kind of a goofy month or goofy week, so we're closed at noon on Christmas Eve, which is Wednesday. Christmas Day, we're closed, and then we're open on Friday, the 26th. So it's like a 3.5 day week.
Yeah.
And then, why do I have that right?
the same for New Year's.
And
And it's the same for New Year's, yeah.
Can
My
we-
apologies, I have January 3rd on the agenda as your first council meeting. That's supposed to be the 5th. My apologies,
January 5.
yeah.
We're not meeting
So
on
don't
Saturday
come in
at
on
6.
Saturday.
Nope, we are not.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Where's your spirit?
And
2026.
On January 8th, the Public Safety Committee is meeting one more time. And
That will be with,
that will be with the sheriff's department. The hope is to have representatives from the sheriff's office here at your work session in January.
and we don't have anything. Knock on wood, that we need a work session for.
In
this
December,
December.
no.
No.
No,
Even at the Hillcrest free dinner.
no,
Fun.
no. Nope. I'm already like thinking towards January 1, where it's year end, and in
Audit.
4 weeks later, I will have CLA here starting the audit for 25.
Didn't you just finish that?
Didn't I just finish that?
Yeah.
Yep, I just sent out confirms, so fun.
Okay. The Boys and Girls Club did a good job with the park.
Looks good.
Well, for having like a 2-week thing to put something together, they did it, and they wish to continue it. I said, I have no problem, that they did a really good job.
Did they,
More lights, I don't know, I got a couple.
Well, we'll be hitting you up for them.
did they reuse any of the old lights or?
Yeah, none of those are new.
Oh, the ones that were up there all
They
year
were the
round,
ones that were up.
and they plugged them in? and they-
Yeah, plugged them in and fired them right off. Good.
I do have a 4-foot star and 2 2
Yeah.
there. We'll paint.
Well, we don't want them going on the top of the roof.
We're not doing the real thing anymore.
No, we're not doing that. But yeah. They had a pretty decent little turnout. There was some other things going on that evening. I don't know if someone was having a parade and. It was fairly chilly out there. Didn't bother the children, but older folks, yeah, it's nice to get to.
Oh,
Well, what else we got going on? Anybody else?
so. This kind of came up the other night, we were talking, and. So. The library still needs storage, right? So for their tables and all that stuff they have,
What tables?
they have a whole bunch of tables.
You mean the Friends of the Library have
Friends.
stuff?
Yeah, okay, I didn't know who owned them. So we were kind of talking about this, and if they're gonna continue with this
The glow in the snow.
glow in the snow and whatever, and other things in town or whatever. We were talking about maybe seeing if we could figure out how to buy a container so they could use it, everybody could use it for storage for all these different entities,
Well, not the city purchasing.
No,
Correct.
coming up with an idea of how to purchase, so
The thing would be where could we put it?
Why don't they just run something from Shamrock?
well, a lot of the stuff is in Marion's storage locker. So you're paying $75 a month every month for a store, or $100 a month for a storage, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that adds up really quick, but it could be multiple things using it, like somewhere to store all these lights. Maybe the duck or lions could have, it was just something we talked about,
Mhm.
maybe if we could. Instead of building a shed, you could buy a story or a container for $3,500 and they're waterproof and.
Not 100%. They compensate a lot. We have a couple at the school and everything you put in there ends up moldy within a year.
Has to have some sort of ventilation.
We have a lot of city buildings, we don't have room for stuff at city property, at city building.
None of the
They're not
federal
city,
property.
they're not
This
city,
isn't- this
it's not
isn't a
city
city.
property.
Okay. Strictly the Friends of the Library.
Well,
Any like special event type thing you're not talking about.
You're right. Yeah, he's talking about the things that we need, like, we do float stuff and.
so if you're, where could the city, could we donate a little spot of property for it to sit on?
But if it molds stuff, we don't want that. Mm-mm.
That was a-
It was just a conversation we had, so we were
That's a
talking about
good
it.
way to start the conversation, absolutely, to figure out what could be used. Get some thoughts.
All right, well,
So I just brought it up.
anybody else? That's your cue, Mike.
Nope.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
Make a
Going
motion
once.
to, make a motion to adjourn.
all right.
Second. Oh.
All in favor?
Aye.
Stand adjourned. Merry Christmas,
That was too
everybody.
quick, Lori.
I know, it was intended. Yep, get in there quick.
Well, careful.